sure this is the cord?
Where's the cord
for the phone?
Doesn't look like the right one.
I don't think so, but I'm not 100% sure.
Working?
Yeah, it works. Wasn't sure. You thought it wasn't the right one.
Wasn't sure.
Alright, let's roll.
Let's do it.
Just saying, I'll document that. Let's get to Heather with the news.
Well, you may have seen this trending. Michigan State Representative Matt Maddock was going viral on Wednesday for all the wrong reasons. So he posted this tweet and he claimed that a flight at DTW was carrying illegal invaders, right? But
So
it turns
dramatic.
out
Oh, no.
it was actually the Gonzaga men's basketball team. What?
I thought at some point he was going to say something about them being illegal invaders because none of our local teams were a part of it.
That it was like he was playing up what was actually happening, but he wasn't. So the tweet featured a photo of several buses on a tarmac near an Allegiant Airline jet with the caption, "3 buses just loaded up with illegal invaders at Detroit Metro. Anyone have any idea where they're headed with their police escort?"
Yeah, the LCA.
Exactly. And Allegiant Airline did confirm, yes, that plane was carrying the team. That's who was on that plane. That's who loaded the buses.
The invaders from Spokane, Washington, playing tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, just everybody wants to take shots now. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Just come on.
Ridiculous. A man and woman are behind bars after stealing tens of thousands of dollars worth of jewelry from a store in Warren on Thursday. So the couple walked into the jewelry store. They were posing as potential customers, but clearly that's not what they were there to do. The store employee called 911 after they stole more than $25,000 worth of jewelry. The couple fled the scene, and less than a half hour later, police in Hazel Park spotted the suspects on 75, pulled them over. They were busted. The jewelry, along with a large amount of cash, was recovered there from the vehicle. Oh, this is a sad story. Whenever you hear these things, you always feel for them a little bit, and you wonder, how did this actually happen? A 73-year-old woman in Troy is out more than $600,000 after she fell for a Publishers Clearinghouse scam.
Oh.
So the woman received what appeared to be this official Publishers Clearinghouse document claiming that she had just won $3.5 million.
I didn't even know that still existed,
A car, I think so, and $7,000 a week for life.
Wow.
She hit the jackpot, right? And the scammer posed as an attorney for this Federal Trade Commission, and under the assumption that she was securing her prize, and she was also paying for the vehicle's storage fees, she sent them multiple cashiers. She deposited money into Bitcoin ATMs, and she also bought a couple pieces of really high-end jewelry and sent them to the suspects. I know.
Okay, why the jewelry? None of this raised like an alarm for her, like...
And then only recently did she decide to tell some friends about this, and that's when the friend was like, hey, this doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
I think you need to contact police. So she did ultimately contact police, but it sounds like, hey, the scammer got away with it.
How are they going to
find
find
your
it?
money back, and most likely they say the scammer's probably not going to get caught. And just a warning, if somebody tells you won this huge prize and then they ask you for money to secure your prize,
Probably not
Think
legit.
twice.
probably not legit, for sure. So following a fire in Madison Heights on Wednesday, we talked about this. There was a house fire where 2 people were found dead inside. Police have provided an update into their investigation, and they believe that this was a murder-suicide. Oh, so sad. So when firefighters got to the scene, they found a 40-year-old man, 42-year-old woman dead inside the home. Police say an autopsy revealed that the man actually died from self-inflicted stab wounds, and the woman died from stab wounds that were not self-inflicted. And they also determined that the fire was intentionally set. Sad story for sure. They're obviously still reviewing the evidence of the case, but they do believe it was a murder-suicide.
What's going on here?
Some good news. 4 Michigan cities made the 2024 list of best places to live in the United States. So the best cities, they were ranked on various factors, you know, schools, crime rate, housing, cost of living, amenities, different types of surveys, and a long list of other things. And the 4 cities in Michigan that were ranked the best were Ann Arbor, Grand Rapids, Lansing, and Warren.
Warren.
Based on their rankings, yeah.
Good for them.
All over, the best city to live in 2024 in the U.S. was Naperville, Illinois, number 1.
Okay.
Followed by Woodlands, Texas, Cambridge, Massachusetts, and Arlington, Virginia. If you're looking for a place to move, there you have it.
It's your list. Heather,
Yeah.
Heather with the news. Coming up next, you heard the reference. Gonzaga's playing tonight. We got the Sweet 16 in our backyard tonight. We'll get to rooting interest, plus we'll stick on anything you guys want with the Tigers and Red Wings. It's 97.1.
Grand slams, no-hitters, and double plays are back. It's sweet to have baseball back, and there's no better place to get in on the MLB action than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can start the MLB season with $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 you can use to bet on money lines, total strikes, homers, you name it, they've got it. Or combine your bets in a same-game parlay for a chance at an even bigger payout. That means you get a chance to put down a little and win a lot. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Just visit FanDuel.com/Jansen to join today and make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball and 97.1 The Ticket. Must be 21 or over and present in Michigan. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help.
At the Home Depot, we're ready to help get your spaces in spring shape outside and inside. Give your walls and ceilings a spring refresh with Behr Premium Plus paint and primer, starting at $28.98 a gallon, and bring a new color inside. And you can upgrade your spring cleaning with heavy-duty HTX storage totes to keep your garage, closets, and attic organized. Get ready for spring outside with a refreshed inside at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
When something happens to your kitchen, you might say,
This is ludicrous.
but that won't fix your home. That will only get you the rapper, Ludacris.
Having trouble? Don't panic. Don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim? Holla at State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's right. You can file a claim on the app or call us.
Thanks, Mr. Chris.
No matter how ludicrous the situation, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? I want a baby grenade. What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady MEI Council.
If you're looking for the most epic place on earth, let's start at the base of a massive waterfall. Then trek through the thick jungle. Then climb to the peak of a snowy mountaintop. Then once you get there, keep going. Because with intelligent 4x4 and 7 drive modes and a Nissan Pathfinder, search is the real adventure.
Available feature. Intelligent 4x4 cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
If your lawn looks more like a desert than an oasis, then you know that lawn care isn't easy. If it were, everyone would do it. as well as TruGreen does it. In just 3 easy steps, TruGreen's online tools help customize a treatment plan for you. And it's all backed by the TruGreen guarantee. Go to TruGreen.com today to start your 3 easy steps and save 50% off your first application. It's time to trust your experts at TruGreen. Live life outside.
This March, Wendy's has some amazing deals on their hamburgers made with fresh, never frozen beef.
Like a juicy Dave's single for $1 and a fresh $2 Dave's double with in-app offer.
It's such a good deal, we wrote a little ditty about it. Get it for $1. Dave's single, order in the app. Dave's single, get it for $1. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's, official hamburger of March Madness.
Limited time offer. Exclusive U.S. Wendy's. See offer details on the Viva Wendy's app. Account registration required. Fresh beef available. Exclusive U.S. and Alaska.
The Tigers home opener is only 7 days away on 97.1 The Ticket. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Costa and Jansen with Heather.
Some ticket text coming in. Tigers start the season 1-0. Red Wings can't get out of their own way. Ticket texter says the Chicago pitcher was no joke either. Pretty dominant. Nobody's going to get that many hits the way both guys were pitching. You take a 1-0 win. Rich on the ticket text.
I'll take a win no matter how you get it.
We've got 161 more of these where if the offense is an issue, I'm sure we'll be talking about it. But sure. Scooble, storyline, 1-0. Red Wings, people on the ticket text, 248-539-9797. They're the 2022 Minnesota Vikings. At least that team made the playoffs. Ticket texter says, Gov called it. John would not be sick 2 days in a row. We did a whole thing about your integrity, even if you...
I was so upset that I wasn't here. Especially with the all the crap I gave you last week. You know, it had to be dire straits because I had to give Jimmy the call, and I'm like, and Jimmy's like, you know what's going to happen.
Yep.
I know. I don't have real much of a choice. I mean, I could have been here, but it would have been pretty.
Heather, how would you describe, because Rieger kept noting, my joy every time I got to bring up the fact that, oh, John's out sick today.
He had fun with it.
Oh, it was beautiful. Yeah. Jeff called me vindictive.
Yeah, it was a little bit.
Yeah, but this is all I heard.
Comes around.
Yep. Thank you for spreading that.
Not my fault. I stayed home when I was sick.
You had it at patient zero. That's how I'm going to reference you, and it's how my kids now reference you. They're like, hey, you know, what's this thing with cookies? And they started referencing you as patient zero.
Texter says, Cookie, you're a rookie until next season. Embrace it. Don't be a whiny bitch. Says, don't give...
yeah!
Don't give John low-hanging fruit. He's 6'12", for God's sake.
Yes. And thought I was bulletproof, but...
Not the case. All right. Tonight in Detroit, we got the Sweet 16. And you had some Sweet 16 games last night. Purdue, Gonzaga, probably the most interesting one tonight in Detroit. I want to know rooting interest from Detroiters with what's left in the tournament. Like, I liked North Carolina. They were a team that I had a lot invested in. They're eliminated. I'm looking around. I know you have Purdue. Yep. I know Heather has Purdue. Is Purdue the team that Detroit is rooting for at this point, or is there somebody else in the tournament that you're rooting for instead?
Well, for me, it's Purdue, and it's... Okay, my daughter's going there next year, so I want her to be all excited about Purdue and right now and making a run in the tournament. But it's really more for Matt Painter. There is nobody, maybe it's Tennessee and their coach, Barnes, that has taken more crap for having really good regular seasons, even in tournament runs, in their own, you know, SEC tournament or the Big Ten tournament, but then has fallen flat on their face in the NCAA tournament. And Matt Painter is a really good coach. He's a great dude, and you just want good things to happen to good people. And Matt Painter he's always dealt and what himself in a very class way. And for Purdue to be a #1 seed, coming off of what happened the last couple of years, not just last year, being ousted by a 16, but of a 15 the year before, this to me is, and I mentioned the whole Virginia hangover, right? Virginia lost to UMBC. They come back the next year and they win it all. Purdue, they lose to Fairleigh Dickinson. And then next year, I just want them to have that comeback story. So Purdue, for me, and Matt Painter specifically, is the team that I am heavily rooting for.
They could do what Virginia did, lose to a 16, turn around, win a national title. Will they garner that sympathy? Will they be a team that people here support? The other game later afterwards is going to be Creighton, Tennessee. You mentioned Rick Barnes. People may feel the same way about them, but Purdue's in the Big Ten footprint, and I think they are going to be kind of the team that people here root for. I mean, who else would it be? Like last night, you had a couple teams get eliminated, including a 1 seed. So, I mean, the field is shrinking. You know, Bama beats North Carolina in a nail-biter, 89-87. Arizona's out. We lose a 2 seed to Clemson, who's maybe the most improbable team still going. Indy Elite 8 for Clemson hoops. Illinois, talk about a Big Ten team breaking through. Maybe people choose them instead.
I have to say quietly, my want for Purdue, because also in my house I have an Illini graduate, who will be my wife, and her dad played football and baseball at Illinois, so I have to say that very quietly.
And is everybody rooting against UConn or what? I mean, because it just feels like their tournament to lose, and it's kind of boring if they just go wire to wire. You want someone to at least put the fear into them. I mean, they won by 30 points.
Well, and I was looking at this stat, and it doesn't include last night, but their last 8 games in the tournament, just going back to obviously last year, they've won by an average margin of 23 points. And last night they won by 30, so, I mean, was that going to be 23 or 24?
Yeah.
They have absolutely dominated last year's tournament and so far this year's tournament.
Good teams win, great teams cover. They've covered 9 straight tournaments. To your point, because they blow everybody out.
Yep.
Me? 3-0 last night on Cash the Ticket. Rate, review, subscribe, check it out. Put more episodes out this week. No, I think I
probably want more bets on college.
But no, what I want is to know I can bet them without it being manipulated. So I think there's a whole conversation there, right? Like, I want to know what I'm betting is, like, on the up and up.
Right.
So you're rooting for Purdue. Heather, I assume you're rooting for Purdue?
I am.
Okay.
I don't have any, like, major feelings behind it or reasons behind it, but that's who I'm rooting for.
That's why my kids like you. And they don't like cookies. Part of it. The other reason.
Rooting for Purdue or just because?
Yeah, because you got their back.
Because you're not me.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're not you.
Or patience zero.
Tom, do you have a rooting interest in this whole thing? I know it starts to whittle down and we have games in our own backyard. It's an interesting check-in.
I mean, I would like to see them get through. At this point in this tournament, all I really want is a Purdue-UConn final. To me, that delivers a potential great championship game. You've got the defending champion trying to seal the deal, first repeat in nearly 20 years, and you got the Purdue dynamic. I also think Purdue-Tennessee, you know, it's the Painter-Barnes game to get to the Final Four is pretty compelling. NC State-Houston potential next round game is a little folklorish for me, you know.
Right, throwback to 83.
You know, but I actually want to see UConn pull this off. They're such a buzzsaw. Reminds me of UNLV back in the day with
Arc.
Yeah, the one of the most celebrated teams ever. They're that good. At least in this era of basketball. You know what I'm saying? I think they wouldn't beat them because I don't think the quality of basketball is the same. But they're playing that role. I mean, 30 points last night. Crazy.
It's wild. And you talk about in the Final Four having a Purdue-Tennessee matchup. To me, I would love to have a Purdue-Tennessee matchup, and then I don't know, maybe an Illinois-Alabama matchup in the Final Four, and then
you're saying to get to the finals?
No, Illinois would be playing Alabama.
They would be UConn, the region. That's what John's saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They beat. Fast forward, they beat UConn, and then they would play Alabama in the Final Four, and so. And I kind of always go back. I get very personal with some of these things. I mentioned Matt Painter. I've had a chance to speak with him, interview him, and be around him a little bit. Same thing with Brad Underwood. Last time Michigan played down there, we were at dinner in Champaign, and Brad Underwood came in with one of his recruits. He came over to the table and talked about the game and was very cordial, very nice. And some of the guys that I've had a chance to talk to on their basketball team, they speak the world of him, as most guys generally do. But I would love to see a Big Ten championship game. I'm not into the whole repeat for UConn. I would love to see Illinois do it. But if you could have Illinois versus Purdue in the championship game, that would be, to me, the
Well, they
ultimate.
finally win it then for the first time since 2000. The Big Ten.
That's my point. I mean, that's part of my point, is you'd finally have another Big Ten champ in the Big Ten. I mean, a national champ in the Big Ten.
Team most likely to beat UConn left in the field. Who is it?
Illinois.
Really?
Yeah, well, it's their next game, but it's to me, I think that Illinois and what's the name of that little guard they got?
Not little guy, but Shannon.
Yeah, Shannon. Yeah, I watching him last night. He took that game over with 29 points, the steals, just being able to move the ball around, find the open guy. He does a great job, and I think we all know that. Yeah, you've got to be able to shoot. But when you have really good guard play, who can find the open guy, can find the hot hand, can be the hot hand himself, that's very hard to defend. And I think UConn is the team that is best equipped to win a national championship.
Yep.
But I think Illinois may be the best equipped to upset them.
Second best offense in the tournament, Illinois. Second to only UConn. Illinois does not turn the ball over. They crash the offensive glass.
Starting route to 19771 MacArthur Street.
You get a few extra possessions of your own.
In 2.3 miles, turn left onto West 14 Mile Road.
To be fair, I think Houston's the other team, the one seed. They play like in broken glass. I mean, they are a tough team. Great guards in their own right.
I play the defense to beat UConn.
Right. So that's do you take the team that can go hyper speed and score 85, 90 and keep up with UConn, or do you take a team that can bog it down and you hope you just catch them on a slow night? In terms of who I'm rooting for, I mean, who's the little guy left? There is no Cinderella. I'm not rooting for NC State. You know who I'm going to root for? The Zags.
Oh, if this would be the year.
This would be the year. Little Spokane, Washington, the Invaders. They come in, win the whole thing. That's who I'll root for. And it's not at all because they're playing Purdue. Not at all.
That's what this tournament feels like, though. If you take UConn out of it, it's kind of the year that maybe all these
this
programs
could be the
didn't
spot
have their
right
best
up at
team,
this
but
intersection.
they all have a chance to win it. Like, I don't think this is the best Purdue team. I don't think this is the best Tennessee team. Not the best Alabama team. Not the best Illinois team. They've all had really good teams of recent past, and then they'll break through Gonzaga, and then this would be the year that they would win. That just sums up March Madness in some ways. Sometimes it's the draw you get. You know, the narrative was the SEC was god-awful in this tournament. Well, Tennessee wins tonight. They have two teams in the Elite Eight.
Yeah. We're down to 12. We'll be down to 8 by the end of the day today. 2 games in Detroit. You got some thoughts? 248-539-9797. The team that you are rooting for, or maybe the team you're just flat out rooting against. We'll get to that. And back into the Red Wings. That's next as well. 97.1.
In an instant, an auto accident can put you in the worst financial position of your life. It is a must to hire the right lawyer who will make sure that the insurance companies pay what they owe you. Injury attorney David Feminino and his team have been making insurance companies pay for almost 30 years, and he can help you with your injury case as well. David is ready to speak with you personally right now if you call 855-65-CRASH or go to his website, getdavidgetpaid.com. That's 855-65-CRASH or getdavidgetpaid.com.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ 24-hour Traffic Center, sponsored by Bill Brown Ford. Watching the accident you're going to find along westbound I-94 at Shook. It involves an overturned semi. Center lane, right lane, and shoulder are all blocked. Broken down vehicle along eastbound I-94 at Livernois. Center lane, right lane, and shoulder are blocked there as well. Bill Brown Ford in Livonia, delivering excellence in sales, service, and everything in between is what sets us apart from the competition. For your next Ford vehicle, visit us online at BillBrownFord.com. That's BillBrownFord.com. I'm Val Berry with traffic.
There are no sweeter sounds.
All right field. This one's Steve.
Hear the game.
Jumping up.
Home of Tigers baseball all season long. 97.1 The Ticket and Odyssey.com.
Your spring is about to get a lot more power with the Home Depot. Get gas-like power for mowing, trimming, and blowing with the Ryobi 18-volt ONE+ system starting at just $89. Mowing power that can take on a third of an acre with one charge.
And this could be the
Trimming
spot
power with
here.
Up to 2 hours of run
This could be it right here.
And blowing power with 110 miles per hour of clearing force. All of one interchangeable battery. Get cordless gas-like power for the entire
Yeah, I
lawn
think that's
with the
it where I'm
18-volt
gonna shake.
ONE+ system. Only at the Home Depot. How
So
jewelers
that
get
might
more
be the
done.
spot.
The good folks at Wendy's have a revolutionary new product for you. Introducing the new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. It's like a time machine that takes you all the way back to now, the year 2024. It's the classic creamy, orangey flavor you remember. Dare I say, it's new-timey. It's the flavor you grew up with, just all grown up. Head over to your local Wendy's establishment.
At the next light, turn left.
The new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. Here for the now, for now.
Limited time only at participating Wendy's.
If you're looking for the most epic place on earth, let's start at the base of a massive waterfall. Then trek through the thick jungle. Then climb to the peak of a snowy mountaintop. Then once you get there, keep going. Because with intelligent 4x4 and 7 drive modes and a Nissan Pathfinder, search
At the light, turn left onto West 14 Mile Road. Then turn right onto Inkster Road.
Collisions to provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
When something happens to your car, you might say, but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Illinois. Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls.
At the stop sign, turn right onto Inkster Road.
But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child.
In 6 miles, turn right onto Grand River Street.
Smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescue billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone, Boomer Esiason here. I know that being a small business owner means being ready to adapt and change quickly to meet business needs. That's why the American Express Business Gold Card offers flexible spending capacity that adapts to your business. Plus access to 24/7 support from a business card specialist trained to help with your business needs. The Amex Business Gold Card, now smarter and more flexible. That's the powerful backing of American Express. Terms do apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/businessgoldcard.
Yep.
This March, Wendy's has some amazing deals on their hamburgers made with fresh, never frozen beef.
Like a juicy Dave's single for $1 and a fresh $2 Dave's double with an app offer.
It's such a good deal, we wrote a little ditty about it. Get it for $1. Dave's single, order in the app. Dave's single, get it for $1. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's, official hamburger of March Madness.
Limited time offer. Participating U.S. Wendy's. See offer details on the team of Wendy's app. Account registration required. Fresh food available. Particular CS in Alaska.
The latest news and information on the Big Ten on the 5 Star Zone podcast with Rico Baird and the Big Ten Network's Howard Griffith. Get it on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. The Detroit Pistons play the Washington Wizards. Pre-game tonight at 6:35 on 97.1 The Ticket. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Costa.
And this could be the spot right at this intersection.
This could be it. Sweet 16 tonight in Detroit. Already have some teams in the Elite 8. Question was who you're rooting for, who you're rooting against. What's the interest from Detroiters with the tournament in our own backyard tonight? 248-539-9797. We're going to get into the Red Wings. 7:02. A player that makes me sympathetic for Javi Baez. You know you're bad when.
Yeah, I mean, you're excited. Your boy.
My guy.
250.
I got a solution later in the show for him, too. Way to get Javi Baez to be his very best this season for the Detroit Tigers. John, you're rooting for Purdue. You're rooting against
Gonzaga. Or however you say it. Gonzaga. They all get butt hurt when you don't say it right. That to me is Mark Few, not a big fan of his. He kind of seems like a I don't know, he reminds me of a whiny little bitch. I'm coming hard at you today.
Welcome back, John Jansen. He's clearly feeling better today.
Feeling my oats today.
I guess so.
But yeah, there's something about him on the sidelines and the Zags that I just don't like. And they've had really good players. They've had really good teams, but they can never seem to get it done. And
be rooting for Purdue for those reasons. Why not root for the Zags for those?
Well, because for me, it's a Painter issue. I like Matt Painter. I don't like Mark Cuban.
I'm rooting for the Zags because they are the little guy, because they are a little Spokane, a little engine that could finally break through. I'd root for them more than
play multiple sports at your school. Maybe just not focus on one.
Dexter says figures Cookies would root for the Invaders, just like his virus invaded the studio.
That's right.
Steve and Algonac.
That's right.
And who I'm rooting against, my out-and-out hate, but Clemson continues to cost me money, so I'll root against Clemson.
You know, Clemson is kind of one of those schools, too, where I'm just like, you know what?
It'd be weird if they were a Final Four national title.
It doesn't feel like they belong. Like, if you're looking at everybody and you're going, okay, but one is not like the other. Clemson it doesn't feel like they belong in the Final Four.
Dexter says UConn reminds me of the Villanova team that Michigan ran into and won 2 championships in that 3 years. Margin of victory-wise throughout the tournament, they're just dominant, Joe, in Chelsea.
They are. And, I mean, UConn would probably be my next one, and I like Hurley. I think he's a terrific coach. I like the way that they play basketball. I just don't want to repeat. I want to have a new one. Next year they can come back. 2 or 3 years, it's fine.
There is something to be said. Like that Florida team that went back-to-back, it does kind of mark the era.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it was kind of cool. I mean, Florida, I don't know if you like that Gators. Yep. They had Al Horford, Joakim Noah. We still think about that team. UConn has a chance to kind of similarly...
Right under that bridge. Yep.
On this, stretch of college hoops. Kind of like, I guess, Villanova did too. Ticket Extra says, 11th seed is a Cinderella, guys. NC State. Everyone's basing it off of the conference championship, which I understand, but seeding-wise, I consider an 11th seed team a Cinderella.
I can't, simply because of the resources that they have at their disposal. It is completely different than a school like Oakland.
Yeah. Power 5 basketball school in the state of Carolina. You are in there's incredible opportunity and resources for you to be a good basketball school. Not the same as Oakland, who's only been D1 for 25 years.
Yeah. And you just look at, we've seen all of the stats about, what does Calipari make versus, I have a hard time looking at a Power 5 team and saying they're a Cinderella.
Yeah. Texas says, I've lost money on Clemson each round. You think I'd get on board? Nope. Roll Tide Saturday.
That might be if we got Alabama versus...
Someone's got to go to the Final Four.
I don't know. I guess I would rather see Nate Oates.
Yeah. They can run and they can score and they play a fun brand of basketball. I think Heather has Alabama in our bracket challenge. And Purdue.
Heather's a great question.
Is she going to win this whole thing?
I will.
Especially since Purdue's going to win, yeah.
We'll see.
We'll do an update after the weekend when we get through this, but I think it's like you, Greg, and Tom has a shot if UConn were to win the whole thing. So I think that's what it comes down to. I'm dead. I like one team, I like Duke, so I'm out.
I don't know how this works, who would win, but I have a potential to knock out Heather's 3 straight rounds out. Illinois, Alabama, and Purdue. I don't know if I would win with UConn. I will say this, if I win just because of UConn, because that looks like that, I do have Tennessee, so you get some points there. But if I win just because of UConn, this is the least deserving thing to ever brag about of all time. I had the first pick, I had to take him. It's like taking Tiger Woods back. Yeah. I don't let me brag about it.
Okay. Yeah, well, we don't want that. That's for sure. Jake, we don't get a chance to hear from Jake very often. I'm going to put him on the spot right now. Who that is left do you want to win the tournament? Are you a Big Ten guy? You're going to go Purdue, Illinois?
Probably go for
Purdue? There you go. I would consider us friends, so thank you. You and Heather as well. Friends.
There was really only one answer that would have been wrong if he had said it. Duke. If he had said he was rooting for Duke, that would have been the only wrong answer, right? So Duke's the one thing that the glue that holds us together as a society that none of us want to see those arrogant Duke Blue Devil fans celebrate a national championship. And no one wants to see Kyle Filipowski, the brave warrior that he was, you know, on his sprained ankle, knee, bruised ego, whatever it is, hoist the champion. That's the one I think we could all bond over. No one wants to see it.
Has it changed at all since Krzyzewski is not there, or are you just mad because they've kind of, maybe they've just reloaded on the coaching side of things?
The team that could do it. No one wants to see it.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one. It's just they're the team that, if anybody had said, I want Duke to win it, I'd be like, yeah, I don't think I like you.
No, nobody does, because, see, they had the whole court storming thing, and then Jay Billis came out with this snooty little thing, and it's why we hate them. I will say this, though, at least give Shire credit. Very hard to follow a legend.
Right.
You know, North Carolina had some hiccups when Dean Smith left. You got to at least applaud, or not applaud, respect that he seems to have sustained the Duke brand.
Yeah, and Shire was, you know, 1 year down. I wouldn't say down, but not as what you would expect from Duke. And now all of a sudden, 2 years in, you're looking at it going, maybe he is the guy. Maybe they follow him.
We have Tom Segura tickets we're going to give away in the 7 o'clock hour. Here's how it's going to work. You're going to listen before the drop comes around, goes around from me. When you hear it, call in. You're going to have a chance to win Tom Segura tickets. Come together to our Little Caesars Arena October.
In 1 mile, turn right onto Grand River Street.
Buy them. They go on sale today at 10 a.m. TomSegura.com. Be listening in the next hour. We're going to get into the Red Wings, including a player who has made me sympathetic for even Javi Baez. You know you're bad when. It's 97.1.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Sports headlines from the Planet Fitness Studio. This is 97.1. The Ticket.
Brought to you by North Bluefield Properties. How about the first place Tigers? They are 1-0 after